Yo, what's up, YouTube? Marvel fans, it's your boy Armand. Here for E equals MCU. A little off. We're gonna be a little off subject today, just because I wanted to make this video to kind of like just clear the air on a couple things that's been happening around the community, just to kind of, get it off my chest, so to speak. So take a ride with me. We're riding up this morning in Michigan, and I wanted to go into, and I'm gonna try to get this in one take, one take Jake, but it's a lot to unpack. So forgive me if my mind gets all over the place, because there's so many different avenues and things I want to touch and address. But in this situation, this all stemmed from, and what this is about the review that Ryan Kennel, I believe his name is, did on the Batman review. Now, you might be asking me, like, why are we talking about Batman? This is a MCU channel. And that's true. I really don't, I like DC films. I watch everything, pop culture or whatnot, but just the passion of the things that I want to talk about are always MCU related. That's the reason why this is an MCU channel, as opposed to me covering DC and everything as well. But and this is old news now at this point. I mean, it really is. But it's still kind of circulating around the internet. But he gave a review, and in the review he said just really one thing that was kind of controversial and turned into a snowball effect and went downhill from there. So I was on my guy's channel, Second Street Marvel. Shout out to Trinity, and I really wanted to. He made a video about it, and I happened to catch it, and I wanted to. I didn't want to take Ryan Kennel's comments out of context. Like, there's always more to the story than what you're being shown or what you know. So I didn't want to just fly off at the handle because everybody else was flying off at the handle. But a few, and this is days from now, whatnot, or days ago, the first thing that I saw was Jody's Corner having a video talking about Rippa59. I know who both of those individuals are. I don't really frequent their channels very much, but I at least know who they are. And the reason being because they're black YouTubers. When I was first starting out, I didn't find a lot of black YouTubers, and those two and a few others were a few that I actually found who was doing it. And I mean, and they both are, they built their channels from the ground up. Shout outs to both of those guys. And even though they've done it completely different ways, but they were going at it. And it was comical, because it was something that it was sad to see. It was something, you know what I mean? I didn't really care for what that turned into, from what that was, where it was supposed to go, or what they were trying to do. You know what I mean? It went left, and I'll get into that later. But I was on my boy's channel, Second Street Marvel Trinity, and he was talking about the events and everything that kind of happened. I said, let me go to this review and actually see what this guy said. Was it really that bad? It would, you know what I mean? People fly off at the handle, and this is where the lesson comes up, because it's easy to fall into that trap, and I'm gonna explain why and what happened to me. So I went and watched it, and he actually gave a pretty good review. I was like, okay, I see where you're coming from. And then he drops in the point about there being too many good black people for him in comparison to how many good white people there was. And that's the part that everybody was going off about. And I felt the emotions stir within myself. It was well, why would you say something like that? To me, where I'm coming from with this was that it tells me, it's not so much what you said, because it's, he's pointing his whole issue, and this is kind of why I'm making this video, because I want to know why this is kind of accepted. But his issue is that the left made it political. They're putting identity politics into it, and that was his way of seeing what the left was doing and calling it out. And I understand that, I get that, and I don't disagree with that aspect of left and identity politics and all of that. And just for those who don't know, I'm not left or right. Like, I could give a fuck either way about either one. I am to the point I'm, you know, what they say, fuck those pics. That's where I'm at with it. Fuck those pics. Hold on, there's something going on up here. Oh, a deer got hit. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So I live in Michigan, so people hit deer all the time. But anyways, so he says this, and amongst the community, it's like you get drawn in. Here they go with the left and the right shit again. So it's like the left want to cancel him because he just said some racist shit. I mean, I call it what it is. But then it's like some of his peers or whatnot are defending what he's saying based on the fact that they're not really, I don't think they're really necessarily taking the effect what he's saying. It's more so about the agenda and him pointing out what the agenda is. So it's like, I need for somebody just in respect to what he's saying, I need somebody to make that make sense for me as to why that's okay. Like, or why do you think, if you think it's okay, why do you think it's okay? And I was coming from the standpoint, and this is where I want to get into, is like I was talking, so I'm in the comment section on Second Street Marvel. So when I hear I go and watch the video that the guy said, and then I came back to the discussion and to the video for Trinity, you know, I was kind of taken back. Hold on, guys. All right, guys. Yeah, I got a little interrupted there, so I realized this video already running way too long. So, but I'm gonna have to edit this together because I gotta get this shit out. So I go back to Trinity's page, and I end up writing like a novel, man. Like, shit was way too long. You know what I mean? Like, you're getting your emotions and you fall victim, and it's just like, I wasn't even trying to, you know, I'm not even trying to go there with all of this shit because it's not worth it. It ain't, like he said, it's mountains out of molehills. You know, the original comment that was said, you know, just stirred it up, and then like, and to be fair to him, it's like, I don't think he meant that, what he said. I don't think he meant it to be like, it wasn't malicious. That's the thing about all of this, how nuanced it is. It's like, sometimes people say things, and I kind of feel like we really need to come up with a new word for like accidental racism, in a sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes, like, the thing about it is, like, we're all programmed, and coming from a spiritual standpoint, it's like, to me, I look at it as just like, I just see the programming. Like, when people say stuff that I don't agree with or whatever, it goes both ways. We're all programmed to some extent. Breaking out of that programming is what it's really about. And that's what this video is kind of geared towards, in the sense of why I was wrong about Rippa59. But just on the Ryan Kennel's review aspect of it, I don't think he necessarily meant any harm. So it's like, that's the reason why you get the reaction you get, and that's the reason why I believe Rippa, you know, kind of just stepped in and just, you know, he said what he said. He didn't, and that's the thing, like, he didn't defend what he said. But I'm gonna get to that in a second. What I was saying in Trinity's comments was just geared towards me being an actor, which I don't know if a lot of you guys know that, me being an aspiring actor. It's that kind of mindset that makes the business what it is. And a lot of the decisions that are made are because of having a certain amount of people with that kind of mindset, and that shapes the business in a sense. So it's like, it's kind of funny in one sense. It's like he's mad about what they did in the Batman, but it's that kind of thinking that made WB and other companies make those kind of decisions. And that's kind of just where I was going with it. I mean, like, I've experienced things, audition. It's like when you out there and you're putting yourself out there, you know, like what Zoe Kravitz said about the director. I've been told that I'm too urban in so many words, and I know, we know what that really means, you know, to do certain roles, or like for what they want you for, or only being able to be typecast and play certain roles. But that, you know, that's maybe another video or something else to go into. But so what happened was, and how this all kind of transpired, is Jody went on Popcorn Planet with Andy Signor. Andy Signor shows him what the Ryan Kennel guy says, and then shows him what the response from Rippa59 was. He kind of like, I kind of blame him in all of this. He set it up. He set Jody up and then like let him off the leash to try to, you know, attack. And, you know, just hearing the comments, that's the reason why everybody on Twitter and everything, you know, went off. Where the Rippa59 thing gets a little more nuanced is that he said what he said in the tweet, and then he went on Jody's corner to kind of just say, hey, what's up? Like, he pulled up. When I first saw this, and the reason why I was even on Trinity's channel is because I saw it all transpire first on Jody's channel. I happened to catch what was going on, and from that standpoint, it made it seem like it got ridiculous, first of all. But really, all there was one question that needed to be asked and needed to be said, and it was just like, do you agree with his statement? Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you co-sign that? You back that up? You know, if so, the discussion's over. Like, if somebody feels that way and they're gonna, you know, they back it up what he's saying, okay, cool. And it's just like I said in the comment section, like, that says more about him than it really does anybody else, if that's how he feels about it. But aha, as they say in Coming to America, aha, that's not what he said. That's not what he did. And when I first saw it on Jody's corner, I was thinking, dang, like, he was kind of mumbling around, or not mumbling, but kind of fumbling around what it was that happened or what he said, and then he didn't write the tweet, and, you know, so that kind of even like added it to it. Like, I thought he was on some Camden Owen shit, like some old anti-black shit, as most people probably did, and that's why they start coming after, you know. But that's not it, and that's not it, and this is the reason why I'm making this video, really, is because you know, if anybody knows me, like, I'm a free thinker. I consider myself a free thinker, and I feel like ego and fear are the enemy. That's the real enemy. And you know what I mean? Like, everybody flies off the handle and stuff, and it's just like, I was wrong about him, because what this did is, and you know, and I'm saying this in the comment sections of Trinity, and the thing about it too with the comment sections with Trinity, I hope he doesn't think that I was gearing what I was saying in the comment section. That wasn't to him. That wasn't towards him. That was more towards the situation as a whole on all of the other comment threads and everything I had been on. I was not, you know, puffing my chest or getting mad or anything like that. And it was not directed towards him anyways. But, yeah, Rippa didn't, so I had to do some digging. I did some research, and then I watched the stream on his channel, and it's totally different, because you kind of see more so what's going on. The reason why Jody's huffing and puffing about him saying the tweet or tweeting it and co-signing him, he never did that. Rippa he never co-signed it, and that's the reason why there was really nothing to say, because it was much to do about nothing, because Jody didn't do his research to know that he didn't say, hey man, you know, what Ryan said is true, and that, you know, you can't take, you know, I think most people understand when another man says something, you can't control what other people say. Like, even if that's your boy, you rock with him, whatnot. You know what I mean? If that's true of your boy and you rock with him, you still gonna rock with him. And I respect that more so than, you know, tossing him out like, I don't know him, or, you know what I mean? Like, and we've seen that happen before. I ain't gonna say no names, but, you know, certain people fly off and say something and they friend and just be like, I ain't with that, I'm out of here. You know what I mean? Like, they just kind of leave. I think what he did was more commendable because he wasn't like, yeah, I agree 100%, I'm behind him, co-signing, but at the same time, he was like, he knows what's going on. He's just like, you know, the mob coming for you because they ain't got nothing else better to do. And that stands on, you know, what you believe and where, you know, where you at with things. And what I realize is that my man's on such a level, it made everything else fall into place for me to understanding it. And that's why I have to say I was wrong about this brother, because he's solid. And that's what it proved. And I went down the Rippa rabbit hole, like straight up. I went down the rabbit hole, and not only did I change my mind on him, I am not a fan of this brother 100%. Now, 100%, but I don't agree with everything that he says, but his journey is his journey, and he's at where he's at. And here's the thing about it. This is what it comes down to. He's a free thinker. And that's the reason why he's able to move the way he's able to move in the circles he moves in. Because see, like, you know, when you out on the channel and YouTube and stuff, and you're trying to, you know, you're finding these different communities. I had found, you know, like the Geeks and Gamer community. I didn't really understand what was going on, what was known, but, you know, I started seeing like stuff about them later on, like, you know, well, this is happening, woo, 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 woo. It's like you get in where you fit in. I went onto their, you know, their platforms before, and it just wasn't for me. Like, it's no diss. It's like it just wasn't for me. Like, I didn't feel myself as being a part of that community. So, you know, I knew he was associated with them, but I think most people peg him very, very wrong. This dude he's able to move and stand on his own too, in a way to where he's impenetrable. You can't come at him like the people are trying to come at him and actually get anywhere, because he's on a different level. I don't even want to say just spiritually necessarily, because, you know what I mean, I don't really know how, you know, what the brother believe in or whatnot, but you could tell like he's solid, and he got a fan in me now, man. Like, I have to say, especially after watching the debate, it's just like, in the word, this is Jody's favorite thing to say. I'm gonna have to tell you, my nigga, you're gonna have to hold that L. You're gonna have to hold that L tight. You're gonna have to hold that L, squeeze that bitch at night, and cuddle up with it, because you lost on so many levels. Like, I kind of just wish, like, it just did, like, you didn't even, and maybe in retrospect he goes back and says it, but he was barking. Like, I don't understand this. He was barking, and it's like, he's the kind of person, this is what I call, like, he's a bot. He's a person, and especially when it comes to blackness, he puts blackness in the box, and if you don't fit in that box, he don't, you know what I mean? Like, he's gonna come off with the name calling and everything. Like, he's gonna handle it a certain way, because that's just him. That's just who he is. You got to accept that. But, you know, for me, like, understanding certain things or the way that I look at things, it's like he's a bot. And what happened is his agent came out, and then when the agent comes out, this shit is like the Matrix to me. Okay, it's like everybody, we walking around here plugged in the Matrix. 95% of us plugged into the Matrix. And what happens is we're all bots. We're all programmed, and everything that we say or do is a result of that programming. There are some people who have freed themselves from the Matrix. Those of us, I would like to consider myself on the Nebuchadnezzar, so to speak. When you run into a bot and they turn into an agent, you can't win that fight. Just like they told Neo, you got to get out, bro. You can't roll with it. Hold on, let me but I guess what I'm saying is, man, a lot of this shit gets lost in translation. I guess I'm editing this video. A lot of this shit gets lost in translation. and it didn't need to happen, but it's like that's what you're dealing with. And this is why I say agents and bots, because that's what this is. Like, it's the programming. It is mountains out of molehills. I even believe, like, just from the start, you know, he kind of created a mountain out of a molehill just by saying what he said in the first place. You know what I'm saying, from my perspective. And then they made it a volcano out of a molehill from what he built, and they just took it to the next level. So, I mean, that's my thoughts on it, man. Like, it's really not. Everybody need to chill out. Just chill the F out. Like, we need to get right spiritually with ourselves, with one, and with the source. And all the bickering and fighting and everything that's going on, for some of us, you know, you've reached that level. It is comical. You do sit back and laugh at it. Like, I know I was saying in the comment section, and like, that's the thing about it. Like, this is how you fall down that rabbit hole, or not even want to say that rabbit hole, but this is how you fall a victim to, you know, what you're not trying to get into. It's just like you get caught up in emotions. A lot of that gets lost in translation when you're trying to tweet out your emotions or text your emotions and get everything that's in your head out, and you're doing it like this. You know what I mean? Like, that's the reason why it never works. So that's the reason why I made this video, so I could try to articulate myself clearly, and even more so with a clear conscience. So it's like you're not, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not like overly emotional, messing up or whatnot. So as you can see, I'm out here on the road, man. This video is long enough. I'm gonna have to put this thing together. So we got more Marvel content coming. There's been a lot of news dropping that I got a couple things that I want to, you know, put my 2 cents in on. And yeah, man. And also, just before we, you know, go, just yesterday we lost Scott Hall, man. Like, I grew up a wrestling fan, and a fan of the NWO Wolfpack, and Scott Hall was taken off of life support yesterday. So rest in peace to that man. And also, the day before that, we lost Thaddeus Ross, Thunderbolt Ross, played by William Hurt. And he passed away. So just wanted to, you know, give my respects to those two. And yeah, man, that's all I got for you guys on this one. Let's get back to the content. Let's get back to the fun, the things that we love in life, and that's Marvel movies and TV shows. Moon Knight is about to be off the chain. I'm trying to tell y'all right now. And on that note, I'm out.